Now let's get to eggs, because people say, well, I don't eat meat and I don't eat dairy food. I'm a vegan, but I've really bought into the story about it being a real food, and I just don't want to let go of that last refuge of consuming an animal in some way, or the milk out of the bosom of an animal. I just can't let go of it. So I'm going to consume eggs. And I hear a lot of this on the campus. All I do is eat eggs. Well, let's hope not. What we know is eggs versus flaxseed. Flaxseed wins right down the list, hands down. The only creature on the planet Earth that can digest an egg, which is, by the way, an unborn chicken in an egg. It's like a fetus, an unborn chicken in a shell. Basically, it's a fox. A fox has the enzymatic ability to break down the entire egg. And they're little sneaky guys. They know how to get into the nest and get the eggs, et cetera. And you're not capable of doing that. Matter of fact, when you start to hear how bad eggs are, let's hope you don't even consider them ever again. Or when you're out there talking to other people that you love, tell them not to consume them. So cholesterol is obviously the biggie. The highest of all animal-based foods in cholesterol are eggs, up to 230 grams in one egg. Now, I never stopped at one egg. I would eat a half a dozen eggs when I was cooking them, and I'd fry them in butter, right? And then you'd put pepper on them or something else that was bad for you. So you had a triune of disease-causing whatever it was you were consuming at that stage. And so eggs' cholesterols are a problem for you, but a lot of people say, well, I don't care about that because I consume, different parts of the eggs. We're going to get back to that in a minute. They have no fiber. So when you eat something like an egg, the receptor sites within the intestinal tract, within the stomach, that tell you that you're filled are shut off. And so you can consume more and more and more and have an unnatural hunger to eat more of the eggs or more of whatever you're eating, because we're not getting messages from the plants that your body's built to get messages from. But how about diabetes? Well, this is a shocker. When you eat 3 to 5 eggs a week, not a day, you have actually a 2-time greater chance of getting type 2 diabetes. Let me repeat this. 100% increased chance in getting type 2 diabetes if you eat 3 to 5 eggs. We don't stop there. If you eat over 5 eggs, now you're really cruising for a bruising. You get triple the chance, 3 times the chance of getting type 2 diabetes. So if you want diabetes, if you want gastrointestinal problems, if you want more cholesterol, go ahead and eat it. How about liver damage? Well, what we know is that fatty liver is on an upswing, and people who aren't even drinking alcohol, that used to be the main culprit, are getting fatty liver disease. And right there at the head of the arrow is an egg, because that undigested protein and cholesterol that's in there actually has to be processed through the gallbladder. When the gallbladder is overwhelmed and can't do it, it spills over to the liver. And this is probably the #1 cause, along with dairy, of creating fatty liver disease. That I'm very familiar with, because I lost my very young 50-year-old brother to that disease. He ate himself to the grave by eating these non-foods. Don't follow his suit. Endotoxins. So these are found in the eggs, but when we start to look at why eggs have more, remember, the mother has to give an awful lot of nutrients to that little baby chicken inside of the egg so they can grow and develop over the time period that it's meant to develop, to come out and to be alive. And we see so many endotoxins in this that are related directly to neurological disorders. So as we talked about with fish, as we talked about with dairy, we see a very similar thing in here with bioaccumulation. How about Salmonello? In our book, Poison Poultry, I reported a study that was done internationally in nearly 70 countries around the world, where they looked at eggs and they looked at half of them were called ecological, biological, organic. That's all organic eggs. And what they found is that 90% of eggs had either Salmonello or E. coli. Now think of that. 9 out of 10 eggs from over 70 countries spread out all throughout the planet Earth, literally 90% of them had Salmonello or E. coli, or both Salmonello and E. coli. Now, you don't even have to cook them and eat them. You just have to touch them and rub your eye or put your finger in your mouth, because that's how you can get these things. Probably the number one vehicle for Salmonella or eggs consumption, then chicken, obviously, we all knew about that. But why wouldn't the baby egg have it in it as well at a bioaccumulated level, a higher level than the mother did? So you say, well, egg whites, as I said, we'll be back to that. Egg whites are not digestible. They don't have the high cholesterol levels. They have high coagulated protein levels that actually stick the veins and ventricles together, the capillaries together, and actually increase blood pressure, chances of heart attacks and strokes, phlebitis within the legs, a great way to get sick. So all of these non-foods are not necessary. That's really the point we're making here. How about heart risk? Again, every single time we're telling you how heart implications are there. Once again, eggs are right there at the top of the list and problematic for anyone who doesn't want to die of a heart attack and stroke. Still the number one killer in most of the developed countries of the world. And then fatal illness. This is really the scariest part, because when they looked at overall animal food consumption, everything I've mentioned now, but let me labor over this because I think it's worth doing. Red meat, chicken, turkey, quail, pork, red meat, fish, and crustaceans, which are aquatic life, eggs, milk, cheese, butter, yogurt, kefir, the list goes on, whipped cream. When people consume these throughout their life, they have a 4-time greater chance of dying of cancer. Now think of what I've just said to you. If everything else went in one ear and out the other, let's hope this doesn't go in one ear and out the other. Fatal illness is increased by 4-fold, 4 times if you consume animal-based foods. And this was a long-term study done with a large population of people where it's really not challengeable. You can challenge it, but why when the data and the evidence is so absolutely abundantly clear? So it's been my experience over the many, many, many decades that I've had the privilege to direct Hippocrates Health Institute, that when people come here suffering from these disorders, every disorder you can possibly imagine, and we remove the toxic, noxious non-foods that they've been told by their culture, their society, their doctors, their dietitians, even their so-called nutritionists are healthy for them, they begin to become healthy. We've won international awards where more people have come to Hippocrates and reversed major disorders than any institute in the history of healthcare. We're not fortunate, like doctors and hospitals on the front line. When people are ill, they're the first touch point. Usually after people have been through that process and they're not getting to where they wanted to get, and they're not getting healthier, they come here. And we're now helping these people purely with plant-based lifestyle. We took it to a totally different level. It's not just plant-based lifestyle that's processed, cooked to make your life convenient, but it's the original diet of the human species, a raw, organic, plant-based diet. And when we have employed this here on this very campus with hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people, And our medical team, our medical doctors, our nurses who are doing testing, everything from blood testing to scanning, we've observed what's happened. There's radical improvements universally with these people. So this is not a unique place on the planet Earth. What we're achieving here can be achieved in your own home. What we're offering you here is not a secret. Not only do we write books and spend many, many hours a year, like I am today, speaking to you anywhere in the world that you want to access this information, but we do conferences worldwide. And we want you to know how to do this because we have one objective, not only to help you heal and prevent disease and aging, but help humanity put on the brake and immediately reverse the catastrophic trends we call modern lifestyle, living, and diet. And if we all wake up and let go of our habitual patterns and addictions, we can stop that trend. And I'm sure we can, because I see it every day of my life. So thanks for listening. Now we'll get to any questions you may have.